Halloween launch for Glamabox. See, I'm not dead in their team. They brought out a lot of celebs. This one's Anna R. That's Grace. I think that's Gina. And there are just a lot of celebs that love to, they were like, oh, what's that? What are you holding? That's a pink box. And then some of them are friends of Lisa as well, so they're very happy to provide their support and subscribe. Some of these celebrities are actually our subscribers as well. And then here's some of the press that we got with Lisa. The brands that we worked with. It's a mix of international as well as local brands that Hong Kong girls can't necessarily get. And then last week, actually a month ago, we launched the Glamazine, where Lisa and our community of beauty writers can share and engage and further the conversation with the girls who are subscribing to the box. But we also launched last week the Glama Shop. And this is very crucial, because this is where some of the brands, like for example Sleek Makeup, it's a UK brand. It's not available in Hong Kong. Girls tried it in the box and they were like, whoa, where can I buy that? So we actually have a online shop where the brands work with us directly to provide the products, and the girls can buy the full-size versions after they've tried them. This is some of the coverage we've gotten. This Who's That Girl? I love that title because Lisa is the wife of Daniel Wu. That was in Singapore, that coverage. We were in MarketWire, we were in E-News, we were in Time Out. We were in Economic Digest last week. And here's another interesting thing. When Lisa is doing sort of her other events, she's very, very busy. And as Raffi mentioned before, a lot of celebrities, they don't need to do these projects. They have lots of money. They are very accomplished. They have to find a reason, there's a reason for them to be working on it, whether it's their passion, whether it's aligned with their interests. So Lisa was doing a shoot for Supermodel Me in Singapore. That's kind of like America's Next Top Model. And it's a show in Singapore where she's one of the judges. So even on that show, we ended up actually shipping out Talika Kiss and Smile, which was featured in our Valentine's Day box. We shipped that out to Lisa, and she and all the girls actually posed with the products. So that provided some additional brand lift that brand we're working with. So we are able to leverage her in other ways in her life as well that have to do with indirectly with Glamabox. So that's really it. If you guys have any questions, I'll be on that panel in a bit. Okay?
Thank you very much, Jen. Let's get Edwin and Jen up here, and we will switch the slides back. So, first of all, thank you both for coming and sharing very different experiences with celebrities, but I think that combined with some of the case studies you're showing, we can see kind of the gamut. I guess since we just talked about Glamabox, let me ask Jen first. In your guys' case, how often is Lisa sharing on her own social media? So obviously she's doing a lot of videos on her own, say Facebook or Weibo page. Is it something that you're explicitly organizing, or is it just whenever she's doing a Glamabox event she might mention it? Is there any partnership?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Lisa's time is very, very valuable, so a lot of what we do is that we see milestones ahead for the company. For example, I knew that we were launching the shop over a month ago already. So when she's in town, we actually do meet up at least once or twice a month. But when she's in town, we talk about the milestones and what is coming up next. So she'll pre-shoot some of these videos. She has a video about the shop right now, but we actually shot that a month and a half ago.
And is it everything that you're shooting? So now you guys have sort of several distribution channels. You have your own Weibo account, your own YouTube channel, your own, and plus all these multiple blogs now, I guess, too.
Yes.
And so is that enough, or does Lisa also share all of them through her own personal accounts as well?
Okay, Lisa also shares them through her own personal as well. But the problem is we have to be very careful with that. Right now, before we hit China, for example, Lisa's Weibo has over 1 million followers. Her husband Daniel has over 14 million followers on Weibo. So, you tweet out the wrong thing or you're not working together on that message, it could get a gigantic amount of users for us in a very short time. So we're always very careful before we.
Yeah, as you're rolling out into the market.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay. Let me pass the mic to Edwin. So for FaveSpot, you guys have done, I guess, these FaveSpot Day events. How are you, what kind of social media are you producing from those events? I mean, is there anything specific, or you're just retweeting all the celebrity tweets that go on?
So apart from media coverage, right, each of our accounts are linked to, can be linked to Facebook and to Weibo. So with our celebrities, they also have linked it so that each time they bake something or share something, they'll go to all their fans through their own social medias. And then we also retweet it from our own official Facebook account.
So in this case, when they're, let's say, like you had the Budo event at the ramen place, all the celebrities that you invited down there, they checked in.
Well, some of them checked in, and some of them posted their favorite ramen that they've taken and that eaten, and we'll repost them.
Okay. And so, are you seeing like one of the things with your posts is people are posting a photo of the ramen or the food. Is there any way that you found that's like more engagement if they post photos of themselves in there as well?
We haven't seen if they themselves are in the picture, there's more engagement, but there's definitely more engagement with the picture, like on your slide before, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
There's definitely probably 5 to 10x more comments if there's a picture involved in the post.
And so you mentioned like DJ Tommy was one of the top celebrity people. While he's not as necessarily as photogenic as Gina Ho or someone like that. Like, do you see any reason why he as a celebrity might have more traction in this case than just like a model?
I think at the end of the day, it's also about the choice of places that you choose to pay. DJ Tommy really likes to eat, and I think it really shows in places that he eats.
So in this case, yeah, I guess it's connected to like finding the right person. So you could say that a celebrity who's a foodie obviously would have a much better performance than a non-foodie celebrity, than a skinny model who doesn't want to admit how much she eats. Okay. Is there any questions from the audience? Yeah.
Just in terms of acquiring them, getting out on the platform, and actually that recently has an quick stake or something to that effect. I'm just curious if when you're thinking about the costs and if that experience really had to work that.
Okay, so the question is like, what are the costs and like kind of how have in our experiences acquired the celebrity to work with, and what's the benefit? Has it paid off? Has it been worth it? So I guess. Especially since Edwin first mentioned that, let's have you answer first.
All right. Well, we don't really pay much of an appearance fee for our celebrities. I mean, luckily we picked places that are places that they like to go, whether it's the newest ramen shop opening or it's the Alive Not Dead Halloween party. So it's more of a subsidy to them for transportation, makeup, and whatnot for them to come over. Hence, that's why we can't really control how often they post. And it's really important how your product really has to associate with them for them to continue to use it. So for us, it's the cost benefit is great.
For us as well, we're not paying Lisa for any speaking fees. I mean, frankly speaking, we could not afford it. If she showed up somewhere, for example, at $100,000 US, right, and Daniel's like the highest paid actor in Asia at the moment. So really what it is, for her cost is that this is something that's additional that she's doing. She herself said, like, I'm not going to be modeling and posting forever and ever. I love dabbling in new business. And that's what we brought to her. This is a new business for her. She's a founder.
Yeah, I think Glamabox is a unique relationship in that if you were to pay Lisa S each time she appeared and each time she posted, the numbers would be sort of not nearly as good. So in her case, as a co-founder of the company, she has a stake. So that's a little bit unique in that case. For some of the other campaigns that we've done, whether it's just a share or it's a tenant event, the price depends. We found, you can say sort of in the celebrity world, there's there's the perceived value, like which is how famous you are, which might affect your appearance fee, or in this case, your fee that you would charge to share something, sort of lend your name to something. And then there's also sort of the pragmatic amount, which is like the reach, the social media reach. So we found that for some celebrities, let's say Cheng Fat or someone like that, they're super famous, they're super A-list. If you were to pay for them to put their face in an ad, it'd be very expensive. But their social media reach might actually not be very good. So maybe Cheng Fat doesn't even have a Weibo account, but if he did, it would be maybe 100,000 people. He's charging Jay Chow level price for his face, but he maybe has a social media reach of a C-list actor, right? So in that case, you're paying for the name, not for the social media reach. There are some celebrities who are sort of at that sweet spot where their social media reach value is actually much higher than their celebrity value. So maybe they're not that well known, but they have a very engaged social media fan base. So those celebrities, and we've seen it even with, although she might not fake spot very often, we've seen with Gina Ho, who's one of the Langmo models here in Hong Kong. Her fan base is extremely active. So anything that she's posting, if it's a photo in an event, like we've had events where she posts a photo there, and we'll get like 200 retweets on Weibo. And it's because she has kind of that very active fan base. So if you're talking like cost per retweet, her number is much better than a lot of them. Other sort of negatives in general, I didn't post the picture, but there's sort of like some overall discussion of, is a celebrity endorsement valuable in today's day and age? And there's always a negative. So let's say Tiger Woods or some celebrity has a scandal. There's always a rush for a lot of their endorsers to drop them because of the negativity around them. But then on the other hand, even sometimes with negative people like Charlie Sheen, who has extremely high negative rating, overall, the results for the client that worked with them was still very good. So sometimes you could say there's no such thing as bad PR, as long as people are talking about you. But then on the other hand, there is sort of some sensitivity, especially in Hong Kong, which is, you could say, is a very scandal-driven, tabloid-driven society. If you were doing some endorsement deal with Edison Chen, you might have some concern when his name comes up in a negative way. But there's a payoff, and it depends on what your brand is as well. If you're trying to keep a squeaky clean image, it can be dangerous. If you're just willing to get your name out there for consumer products, sometimes scandal is good as well.